Good show.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into another edition of the Buffalo Basement Podcast here on the Do Champions Media Network. I am Pat Bruknis. You can find me on Twitter at Pat_Bruknis. I'm here with the host of the show, Matt Diegert. You can find him on Twitter at Matt Diegert. And we're also here with Student Body Right. You can find him on Twitter at Student Body Right. So, fellas, before I get into thanking the sponsors, how you guys doing today?
Hey, Pat, good to be seen, baby.
Yes, good to be seen.
Good to be seen.
Yes, sir.
Pat. I'm not doing too well or too bad.
This isn't an Olympic pose. He's not. We do stand up for social rights here, but this isn't it. We got a live sunset going on right now.
Yes.
And we're currently in Casa de Student, and we'll be switching on and off throughout the show. Right now, it's Matt drew the short straw. So, sponsored. This sunset is actually going to be sponsored by who, Pat?
Elio DiPaolo's, they have the greatest Italian food in Western New York. If you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. They're located at 3785 South Park Avenue, Blaisdell, New York, 14219. And also, Sons of Erie, they have some great merchandise and paintings. Make sure to check them out at www.sonsoferie.com. Like the hat that student is wearing, the hoodie that I'm wearing, and much more.
Wearing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are wearing it. And
Yeah,
the hat
also,
that Matt is also wearing.
There we go. We got it right here, boys. Right. Oop. Right.
Oh, right there. And also, Hamburg Brewing. Make sure to go to the tap room for all your favorite drinks, which they are located at 6553 Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York, 14075. Or check out their website at www.hamburgbrewing.com. And also beauty pools.
You got anything for them? Just beauty pools.
Yes, beauty pools.
Cool off. Go take a dip.
Yes.
There you go.
So we got the biggest shitter and biggest dipper back there, Lake Erie. Matt, you want to try to put your hand down, see how it goes? That's fine. Well, we'll do it here. So
Yes.
Hey, we got a kind of a cool one today. We got a little bit of the schedule release. Some conflicting things.
I feel like almost like the Rams GM and stuff sitting out here, in the nice. During the draft when they rented that house,
Man, I mean, spend a night here in the winter when you got the pounding water hitting your house, and you're pretty confident that your real estate investment's going to fucking zero. It's not the same. So, but anyway, we schedule release tonight, guys. It's a big one. All the building blocks we put into this foundation. It is the journey of which this foundation will be tested. So I know we have some conflicting opinions. We have some hopes and some dreams. I'll start off with a little bit of diatribe. Can we chill on the primetime games? Like, I don't have any wife and kids and stuff like that. But well, actually, I do have one, but she's
I don't
inside.
know. You might want to talk to Pat. I mean, we're going to release his prediction for the schedule release for next Wednesday in a little bit.
Yes.
Well, are we going to have a conflicting?
Yeah, because he's got 7 primetime games.
Yes, I do.
That he's predicting. So.
Damn.
Yes. I love primetime games.
Why?
I don't know. Growing up, we were always playing at noon, and now that we have more primetime games, it's kind of like, oh, I like this. I like being in the spotlight, and the more primetime games you have, it's kind of the better the team you are. So,
yeah, that is pretty indicative of kind of where you're at in the NFL hierarchy. Their willingness to exercise, that billions and billions of dollar contract. So, Matt, any predictions of where Pat might go with this, and any hopes of where you want to go with this?
I just want to have, like it's been rumored that the Bills are going to have a Christmas Day game. I'm not the biggest fan of the Christmas Day game. It kind of ranks right up there with like a Black Friday game for me. Like, it's nice to tune in on a Friday and see football, but there's other things going on at that time. You just got done watching 8 hours of football, 12 hours of football the day before on Thanksgiving. And last year they started out with one of the worst games that I've ever seen in my life between Miami and the Jets.
oh my goodness.
I mean, that was one of the worst games that was out there.
Oh my jeez, oh man, that was not super amazing to watch. But I associate Christmas games with the NBA. Maybe they're playing a little bit of catch up, trying to star stud some real movies. Best Twitter blunders ever with listening to Eric Wood telling me that we'd be playing Dallas in London, and that wasn't that. And I read on Twitter we have a schedule guy. Did you read we have a schedule guy on Twitter?
I did.
Sal already talked to the schedule guy.
Well, that's not the Bills schedule guy. That's he talked to the lead schedule guy for the NFL. So I mean,
he did.
Yeah.
He had him on his podcast a couple weeks ago, and he literally said, start getting ready for start changing your clocks now, because there's going to be a lot of primetime games for the Bills. So
yeah, I don't know. You guys are a bunch of heathens for liking that stuff. I like my
I
routine.
love them.
I like my routine. I like getting up at 9:00. I like breaking it up where going to the store, getting my tailgate and my highly caloric vessels to put in the ship, that being my body.
Pizza and wings, or
and then heading to the lot if I choose to go. And then I just like the routine. Being hungover by 4 is kind of nice. Can't do that this year. We can't do that this year with the addition of A Place at the Table of Elliot Apollos. That will be coming in the fall. A Place at the Table podcast, direct analysis from players, as well as Matt, myself, and Ilio, live from Elliot Apollos, as we like to shout them out always. So I like that routine. That show does get harder to do if we're playing 8:00 games.
It does. I mean, especially if you're talking we're not getting done until 1:00 in the morning, but. I mean, it's definitely going to be some interesting takes at 1:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a day worth of swing juice in my body. So watch out. I know I got a little bit of trouble on Twitter last year, just for imbibing a little too hard. But hey, Tommy, we got Tommy Giamba right there. Had the socials over there at Do Champions. We'd like to say what's up to him. Tommy, thanks for watching. However,
what's up, Tommy?
It is his job to watch, so let's not thank him too hard. So. Pat, hit me with it. What do you got, bud?
Back to what we were talking about, the primetime games. I love primetime games. Josh Allen plays well in primetime. He has his whole career, especially since 2020, and I feel like him and Sean McDermott have a very, very good record in primetime games.
Yeah, he certainly does. Now, do you know off the top of your head, does Josh play with the visor at night? Obviously the visuals are going to be a little bit different. He doesn't play with the visor at night.
Nope.
No, he doesn't at all. I'm going to crank this fire just a little bit. Here we go. Oh yeah, let's get it going as we get a little sunset going here. It's definitely a more raucous and rowdy crowd. You're going to see a few less women and children at some of those games, and a few more grown men taking that Monday off. I think a lot of personal PTO is used some of those Mondays when we have those Sunday night games.
Yeah.
But also, in the Monday night games, a little bit, if I may, the Monday night games have a little bit too much performative additions for me. It's almost like a little bit of hurry up and wait once you get specialists out to the field. And stuff like that. It's a little bit too much hurry up and wait with kind of like the production and all that stuff, because you are under direct supervision of the major networks. So it's a little different for me, and it kind of fills myself with a little bit of anxiety, additional anxiety that comes just inherently with any Bills game. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's kind of my aversion to primetime games. But excuse me. But hey, let me tell you. By the way. He brought over pizza today from Elliot Apollos. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic as always.
What kind of
we got
pizza
a
was
little-
it?
Matt?
Just pepperoni. There wasn't
Oh, okay.
anything made, but it was just
Well, we got some vegetables in, which is nice for big guys like us.
Right.
So,
Right.
I'm assuming mushrooms are a vegetable.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're a fungi. So much like you, Pat, a fun guy. So,
Yeah, try to be.
who are we gonna?
Try
Whose
to be.
prediction? Whose prediction are we rolling out first?
So we're gonna go with Pat's first. So I know he's got his there. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here as we go, or as when he's finished. But we'll definitely discuss that. I'm actually just doing the poll right now.
Put up Neffy on there. Neffy's comment there.
Oh yeah.
Neffy coming from YouTube right now. He's telling us Ilio's pizza's fire. Correct, and
Yep.
that is the only opinion we'll be hearing tonight. So,
I cannot wait to try it.
Pat, week one. What are we doing?
Week 1, we're going to be home against the New England Patriots.
Okay. Week
Yeah.
one, home against the. What's the thought process there?
I can't remember the
mic
last
on.
time we played New England. Week 1. I just think this would be a good time to play New England home at week 1. Obviously, I don't think it will be the Jets or Miami. I don't want to get too far into my predictions, but I don't see us playing the Jets again week 1 because we did that last year in Miami. Just the last few years, if I remember correctly, we have played them down the stretch.
So you're thinking an AFC conference opponent, a divisional opponent, week 1, game 1.
Yes, I do.
Now, in talking about that, were you able to watch the roast of Tom Brady?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
You
Yeah.
sounded pretty unenthused. I thought it was it's kind of amazing.
It was hysterical.
Getting Drew Bledsoe back.
That was one of the best things I've seen in a long time. Especially like the quality of comedians that they had on that show was just absolutely amazing. So
Oh yeah.
Hey, in the chat, if you could hear Matt, okay, just give us a thing. I know there might have been a Matt mic issue. Seems okay for me.
He seems okay for me.
So we got the Patriots week 1. Do you want to go to
Yes.
us or no?
what do you think? Well, so as far as that goes, Pat, I know you said what your thought process was behind it, but I don't know. I think that's gonna I have that as we have that as the Dolphins. We have that as the Dolphins. So I think that they're gonna open up in a primetime game against the Dolphins to kind of start the season like they did last year, like they ended the season last year against the Dolphins. Get that big one out of the way and everything like that. So
I mean, it's a possibility. I could definitely see it. I mean, we started last year off Monday Night Football against the Jets on September 11th.
Better.
So I could definitely see it. I could see it, but I just don't know if they would put us in primetime 2 straight years in a row to start the season.
right, for sure.
Well, yeah, that's all the playing time Aaron Rodgers saw. Is just that first week, unfortunately. So I know that was like a little bit of a nothing burger, and obviously it directed the franchise in a negative spot. We don't root for injury.
Never.
But I think in this scheduling thing, they really got to try and get it right in terms of watchability, in terms of general interest, in terms of marketability. Billions and billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars invested in this. So, yeah. So week two. Week 2,
I went back and forth on this for maybe about 30 minutes. I kid you not. I came up with in Indianapolis against the Colts, Josh Allen versus Anthony Richardson. Week 2. I went back and forth on this one for 30 minutes.
What do you love about the actual opponent in week 2? What do you hate about the actual opponent? And where do you have that time slot?
Oh, a noon game. A noon game.
A noon game for the Midwest, huh?
Yep.
We'll cater to everybody except the East Coast, the biggest media market, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially any Midwest Bills fan, it's nice because you get that 1:00 game earlier, and I don't know. I mean, it really kind of gets the day started in the best way possible.
Oh yeah,
sure
it does.
That's 9 a.m. for a friend like Donna. That's 9 a.m., guys.
Yeah.
I mean that's a green juice. That's not a Bud Light or Labatt Blue
No.
or Hamburg Brewing if you're getting out there. Hamburg Brewing out on Boston State Road. Please visit their tap room. No free shout outs for other brands. That's on me, Coach. That's on me.
I love the matchup of Anthony Richardson and Josh Allen, squaring off for the first time in their careers. What I hate about it is the fact that,
Change your mic.
I'm not a big fan of Indianapolis.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at there.
Yeah, it's Jim Irsay. He kind of is in like the old man's club. A little bit. He's very much of the pedigree, I guess, of Jerry Jones. So you'd like to think he's going to get what he wants because there is a little bit of that still exists there. Like I said, even with the turf play. They're not going to mandate grass until Uncle Jerry says grass
Right.
is mandated. So interesting. Now go to week 3. Hey, actually, real question, real quick.
Yes.
Let me ask. When are the buys first enacted? The buys.
For me, it's week 9, but
It's
Comment. Week 9.
McDermott
Yeah.
does well. Yes.
McDermott does well for first year QBs. Essentially, what Richardson is this year. That's a touchy little point. You might piss off some Colts fans, but you're right. Yes, it is a fantastic point. McDermott does well scheming up for what essentially should be a hard task. Not having any real tape of tendencies from quarterbacks. He does like to prey on confusion, on mixing up. Who are you going to see with different rock looks, stuff like that. Brilliant comment though from Jason Cavelli.
Yes.
Jason Cavelli, fan of the show. Do appreciate your comment there. So going to from week 3, okay.
Yep.
Going into my quantitative background, week 4. What are we up to? Week 4.
Well, week 3, I have us playing the Rams in Los Angeles.
I knew you had it there, so I didn't want to talk about it. Moving on. Week 4.
All right, week 4, I have us at home against the Jets on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, Jets and Sunday Night Football.
Aaron Rodgers comes to Buffalo. The last time he was in Buffalo was prime time with the Packers. Why not do it again?
I almost want to see do they take away anything from Aaron Rodgers based on his outspokenness? Never knowing that. I think Matt's going to take a little break, just figure out his microphone situation. It's worth saying, but you see a lot of players rally around what Aaron Rodgers stands for and stuff like that. He's like the elder veteran, things of that. So I'm not sure they'd want.
And we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, so we'll have Student and Matt come back to us here pretty soon. Yeah, week 4 against the Jets, I have us obviously playing Sunday Night Football in Buffalo. Obviously, the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform was week 1 against Buffalo on September 11th before he ruptured his Achilles. Oh, you guys are back.
Hell yeah.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. So what were you saying before your mic got cut off?
Oh no, I was encouraging you to get it going. Yeah, I mean, so now you're compiling this as we go on. You're starting to see that we've kicked off now in the first couple weeks our entire AFC roster. I like that. Can you still hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
The reason I like that is because we're putting down game footage that won't be necessarily still applicable within the first towards the end of the season. What we are in the first couple weeks is not who we're going to be ultimately. And I do enjoy that. That would play to our tactical advantage, knocking up all those all those games because the game of football is dynamic, not static. It's going to be a lot of different things. So, Matt, you want to?
Yeah, where are we right now?
We're on week 4.
Okay, Perfect. So let me take a look at your schedule here real quick, Pat, because and we're gonna put all this stuff out on Twitter afterwards.
Yes.
So week 4, you got the Jets.
Yep. Sunday Night Football.
Coming to Buffalo, Sunday Night Football. I mean, hopefully it's not a repeat of the Monday Night Football game, but we have better turf than MetLife Stadium does. So
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
you know,
That looks worn. That turf at MetLife. Oh my God, it is bad.
It's awful.
It is bad.
it's like black almost. Like it's. I don't know how they can even play on that, and it just I don't know. It just really like blows my mind that they still are even able to play on that. And I know when we talked to Bud Carpenter a couple of weeks ago, like a month ago, like he was saying the difference between field and turf, and he's of the mind that turf is actually better in certain situations, but you can't have crappy turf. like that's so worn.
I've seen high school fields with better turf. Truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, it's a nephew with the comment where soft tissue goes to die. Jeez, don't mince words there, bud. Love it.
Oh, he's not lying.
So what do we got
Nephew's
next,
not
Pat?
lying.
Week 5.
Yeah. Week 5, I'm going to do a little bit of an audible here. I'm going to have us home against the Arizona Cardinals, a 3:25 start time, or 4:25 in Eastern time.
Okay.
You know, they
So
just signed Zay Jones, his return to Buffalo. I feel that's just a good spot for that type of game.
Yeah, I mean for sure. And you said 4:25 against what? The
Cardinals.
You have the Patriots week 5.
Oh no, I'm audibling it. I think
Okay.
just Arizona looks better.
Okay,
Arizona
so we're
looks
just
better week 5.
we're flip flopping those.
That should be yes. That's all we're doing is flip flopping those.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely week 5 early in the season. The last early season game for the Bills against the Cardinals was, I mean, we're not going to talk about Hail Murray, but because that was more in the middle of the season.
Right. I think that was week 9.
But it was the Aaron Williams punt return or blocked kick return game.
Yes.
When Rex Ryan was still the coach. So, I mean, let's see what happens because they're going to have players that Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones, like you said,
Trey McBride, James
Yep.
Conner. They have a good squad over there, and I feel like that 4:25 time slot for that game fits perfectly on Fox.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. On Fox, being a Fox game,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Cardinals week 5.
4:25. The afternoon game.
Bear with us for 1 second, Pat. We're just trying to get some.
No, you're
some
fine.
better lighting out here. You could see the beautiful,
Yes.
behind us. But at this point right now, we're just trying to get our, so you can see our lovely faces here. So, but with that being said, I mean, it's, what do you got going on week 6? We'll come back to week 5 in a minute.
Yeah, week 6, I have us in New England. I believe we were in New England week 6 or week 5 last year. No, that was week 7. But just, get New England out of the way early. Because I think that's what we did with the Jets. No, we did not. We played the Jets mid last year. It was like week 10 last year. We played them for the second time in Buffalo.
Right around there. I think it was like week 10 to 13, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
if New England was a bit of a better team, we would be seeing them a little bit later in the season. But they are, as of right now, where they stand as a team, as an organization, I just think week 6 at New England.
Yeah, week 6. They have the new quarterback,
Drake May.
Drake May.
Yep.
Drake May.
You don't really know what you got. I do know we have my dog back there somewhere.
Yep, I see him.
So he's about as big as a wild card as what that New England team is going to be, and I don't mean in playoff implications. So I do agree with that. So
Yeah.
where are we at?
Yeah,
we
week
are
7.
Week 7, but I want to go back to week 5 real quick, and I want to get
Yes.
your take on week 5 Cardinals 4:25.
Well, the 425 thing is pretty much non-negotiable. I think that's what it's gonna be. They're not gonna want to compete with that media market, the juggernaut that is Las Vegas. They're not going to pin them up against anyone regionally just for gambling implications and all that other stuff. They're not going to draw away from such a massive market and one of the most heavily gambled upon teams. They're not going to draw away from any of that. Uncle Jay on the podcast there is
no need to spoil with your faces.
Oh man. That one hurts, bud. It really does.
That was an uppercut.
I got my teeth whitened recently. I'm trying to look good for them all you got, but yeah, how do you compete with that? If the Bills could play on a gelatinous surface like the water, that might be the year we win the Super Bowl. So walking on water is not an easy task. Neither is winning a Super Bowl.
I mean, they did play on frozen water against the Steelers. So
yeah, that's a chemistry issue. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with that 425. Locking that in, seemingly what should be a non-playoff implicative game, one would think. But if you're of the volition that we go 10-7, that is going to matter. So, yeah.
All right, and then we're on to week 7 now, Pat, for yours.
Yes, we will be in Baltimore for Monday Night Football. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, the two best quarterbacks of their draft class, going at it once again.
Oh.
And the last time we played them, they choked was a 17-0 lead in Baltimore. They were the number 1 seed last year. We won our division last year, 2 division winners. Monday Night Football. I think that's a perfect day to play that game.
I kind of a little bit agree with it now that he serviced it like that. Monday, it's two primetime night games you got, right? Yeah.
Yes, so far, yes.
Okay. Well, I don't hate it. If it's 2, I don't hate it.
Well,
no, for sure not. And Lamar Jackson coming, us going there, on you said Monday night, right?
Yes.
On a Monday night to end the football week, that's gonna be that's gonna be a heck of a game, and
yeah,
especially with Zay Flowers there and Mark Andrews coming back off the injury from last year. I mean, it's going to be Derrick Henry now as the running back. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck to any team, including the Bills, figuring out who's
gotta go low.
Who's going to run the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, because Lamar Jackson, one of his best things that he can do is stick it in his belly and pull it out and run.
Yeah, they truly improvise a little bit with some of those RPOs and stuff like that, and with the loss of OBJ, not a big deal with them really. It doesn't take away the shine. It's almost like they just took the off season to buff it up and actually buff it up at running back.
And yeah, I don't think that's going to be too much of a loss for them with OBJ either. I mean, what, he have 35 catches last year and
38,
something like 300 and something yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's not taking that much out of their offense. I really think that the Derrick Henry offense is going to now be a problem in Baltimore. I mean, they were really good running the ball with Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins when he was healthy, and then also I'm sorry, who was their other running back?
Gus Edwards?
The other one.
J.K. Dobbins. Justice Hill?
Yeah, I think it was Justice Hill, yeah. So
we got a comment from Neffy, very quick. Taron time.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, Taron Johnson's going to have to step up and play the run very, very well against the nickel or in the nickel.
Yeah, he's a little bit undersized, but at the same time, these teams should still be running away from Matt Milano. He covers so much sideline to sideline, and he's been able to converge fearlessly downhill to fill gaps and be true to gap scheme integrity. Yeah. It is time for Taron to step up,
And with that being said, though, you bring up Matt Milano. I mean, do we think he's
champions?
Do we think he's going to be healthy at that point still? Like, because I mean, everybody's all excited about. Thank you, Neffy. It's Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell.
do we think Matt Milano is going to be healthy to start the season?
Hey, take it easy, dude. I have no reason to believe Matt Milano's not going to be healthy. Yeah, he comes from the school of Kuechly. Kuechly had his, did have concussion injuries, but he had, his shoulder a little bit, but he bounced quite well right back. So I think you're sipping too much haterade, homie.
But the thing is with Milano, it's the leg.
Okay.
That's one of his things that is his speed to the ball, and yes, his smarts help him a little bit, but I mean, I'm personally a little worried about Milano because we hear Brandon Bean talk or McDermott talk or anything like that maybe he'll be ready. We'll have to see how it goes. Things like that come out of their mouth, and it comes down to it. It's like
sometimes it does feel like he's tempering expectations. So.
And that's fine. And that's why that's more a question for the group that is do you think he's going to be healthy? I personally think he'll be ready to go week 1, but
so do I. I think he'll play in preseason week 3 to get some snaps.
I don't think this is going to. Yeah, correct. Correct. That's where I'm at. No reason to expand upon it and do hot air. That's what I believe as well. So.
All right, we got week 8 now.
Week 8. Yes.
Go ahead.
I have us in Seattle. I was going to put this game as a primetime game, but I did not.
Why?
I think this could be another 4:25 primetime game.
Well, it's not really primetime, but
yeah. I just feel like, that's a good team in Seattle. They're in the NFC. It's kind of just one of those games where you kind of just put where you can. I think last time we played them was... You said what?
We're playing them because we have to.
We're playing them because we have to.
It's kind of a nothing thing, which brings us right to week 9.
Yeah, week 9, nothing. Bye week. Rest up.
Which is your bye. So yes. With that being said, we do want to let everybody know that our show is being sponsored by Elliott Apollos, 3785 South Park Avenue, Blaisdell, New York, 14219. Sons of Erie, www.sonsoferie.com. Hamburg Brewing Company and Beauty Pools. And real quickly, I do want to just we had that contest going on the New Champions Network. I wanted to take the bye week real quickly and announce the winner. It is Burn Learning.
Burn Learning.
Congratulations.
Burn Learning. Just message anybody from Dude Champions, the main account, anything like that. We will get you sorted out with your new Keon Coleman jersey, or I don't know if you want anybody else. I guess. But congratulations anyway.
Yes, congratulations to Burn Learning. Definitely we'll shoot you a message here afterwards letting you know you won, and we'll we'll go from there. So as Student Body Right steps out real quickly, Pat, let's move on to week 10.
Yes. I wish this game was in Buffalo, Matt. I really do. At Houston for Sunday Night Football coming off the bye. I wish this game was played in Buffalo. Obviously, with the trade where we sent Stephon Diggs to Houston. Primetime game. How is this game not a primetime game? CJ Stroud versus Josh Allen. Keon Coleman, Stephon Diggs. An up-and-coming team in Houston, the Buffalo Bills. This has primetime written all over it.
Juggernauts of the AFC, the AFC East, AFC Conference, number you can make an argument for them being the number 2 team in the conference, number 1 team in the conference, based on the way that they finished the regular season last year. As far as what were they 6-0 to finish the regular season?
Yes.
I mean, it comes down to it, and the Bills. There's an argument to be made that they were the best team down the stretch last year in the AFC. And you can't sit there and yes, Kansas City won the Super Bowl last year. Like, give them their due. They're 2-time champions in a row. Obviously more than that, but back-to-back Super Bowl champions. They're going for the three-peat this year. But it comes down to it, and the Bills were a better team than they were, and they literally just ran into the injury bug. They lost Terrell Bernard in the Steelers game. They didn't have Matt Milano. Rasul Douglas was not 100%. So that Houston team is going to be a fun team to watch this year, and that's going to now be it's going to be up there, very, very similar to the game I think that they had against Houston in the playoffs in 2019. I think it's just going to be very, very much roles reversed. So,
Yep.
When it comes down to it, I that's going to be a fun game to watch, and hopefully at that point the Bills are enough in a lead in the conference, in the division, so it's not going to make a bit of difference if they do end up losing.
Right. Hopefully, we
we
get on that little 3-0 run like how we do every year, minus last year.
We definitely want to see them. Pull out a victory and everything like that. But I mean, that's a game that can go either way, just because of how like you said, they have literally their receivers are what? Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell coming off the injury. They have, and they traded for Joe Mixon. So it just really comes down to it. Are the Bills going to be able to make more stops than the Houston Texans? And that's really what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, and we have a question from Jason. Do the Bills have enough speed in the secondary to cover their receivers?
So I think with the philosophy change on defense, going to more man principles in the back end, I really think Kyer is going to have a really stepped up year this year, and he has the and he has the ability to do that. Pat, can you hear us still?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Good stuff.
Can't hear you though.
Can't hear me? Pat, can you hear me?
I can hear you through Matt's mic.
Oh, no.
There you go.
So the thing about owning a media network is, so that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
That is a great question. The Bills, have enough speed. They have enough height.
On offense, yes.
They have enough height. They did have the commanding height with Tremaine Edmonds, when he's playing the game at 6'5". Do they have enough height on defense? Yeah. And they have arms, too. They have arms, and Greg Rousseau, get that hand up, baby.
AJ Epinesa,
get that hand up, baby. That is sometimes you can max, compromise and kind of make up for not having, turn on a dime speed with taking away throwing lanes, because it's way easier to raise a hand and take that away than sometimes converging 10 yards, right?
Right.
You get a big cat paw on a ball. How much does that mess up some of the quarterbacks in the NFL who aren't Josh's height, right? Who can't navigate, who don't have the wings to sometimes bad mechanics sidearm a football, throwing it into tight spaces. And also, you have now a defensive line that you might see some of the star-studded people out there longer, because we do have a new defensive line coach. You might not see a traditional, kind of three-man heavy rotation
right.
as much. So, do they have the speed? Do they have things that make up for speed? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Great
they
question.
do.
Yeah, and like I said, I really think we saw it his rookie year. As far as Kyer Elam goes, I think that he's going to end up overtaking at least the number 2 spot. So, I mean, it's really what it comes down to is, we know him. I met him, a few times.
Yeah, I know him pretty well.
And he truly is one of the hardest workers on that team. And for him,
and there ain't no two ways about it.
And for him to come into this season and fail, anything other than him being a top 2 guy, I would look at as a failure for
I think anything other than him being a top 3 guy in the division is a failure.
Yeah.
We had a guy who entered the division, Rasul Douglas. He was arguably a top 4 corner in the division. By the time he got his wits about him, by the time he had enough game under his belt,
Yeah.
his presence mattered, and that's where Kyer needs to be. His presence needs to be respected and mattered.
Well, and that's why I was saying, with Jair Adai coming in, or Jaheim Adai, or however you say his first name, I apologize. The defensive backs coach, or the cornerbacks coach, or whatever he is. It comes down to it, and he was more man principles in Miami.
Right.
So I think that's going to suit players like Rasul Douglas, who's a bigger, stronger guy. I think somebody like a Kyer Elam, who's got some length to him, and he's got the speed to go on top of it. I think that's going to help those guys.
And a new number.
And not 24 for whatever reason. That seems to be one of the numbers that's just not good here. That number 11.
well, 24 is going to be overtaken by Cole Bishop, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So
Man,
hopefully
you
change
shut
your
the
number,
fuck
Cole.
up. Kindly, sir.
So, but I really do think that if they do end up running more man principles on defense, that you're going to see a lot different of a play style from the Bills' back end, where these guys can literally just go play.
Yeah.
It's covering one guy, rather than having to worry about who's coming into my zone.
Don't get too handsy. Man coverage. Those back judges know, side judges know you're in man coverage.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not employing Pee Wee football refs. They're going to acknowledge man coverage too, and they're not going to be so centric if they see in a drop zone or anything like that to be looking for those PI calls. They see a man coverage, which is rarely talked about. Eyeballs have to fucking translate to, hey, they're man. Let's see if we can address what there is a tendency for defensive backs to do is get a little too handsy, especially when they're coming out of the breaks or they feel like they've been beaten.
Yeah, for sure. And that was week 10, Pat. We've just finished up with
week
the
10.
Texans. So,
Yes.
What are we going for week 11?
Week 11, we're going to be in Detroit. I do not have this as a prime. I do not have this as a primetime game. Rock City. Sorry, I just love that. I'm sorry. I just love that song.
God damn it, Pat. It's Eminem, dude.
So,
Eminem, man. God. Doing podcasts with mid-20s people. We're old.
I'm not
Early
even in my
20s
mid-20s.
people.
Yeah.
He's early
Okay.
20s.
Oh, God.
It'd make us feel even older. But no, seriously though, against Detroit, they just drafted Terrion Arnold. I really am
thinking about this one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing, that Detroit Lions team going against this Bills team, because if our offense is clicking by that point with Keon Coleman, with Dalton Kincaid, with James Cook out of the backfield, Dawson Knox, knock on wood, nothing happens to them, any of those guys. So we're not, playing down or anything like that, or have to rely on, fifth and sixth and practice squad guys. I expect a big year out of Dalton Kincaid. I expect him to lead.
I'll turn the light on for that one.
I expect a big year out of Dalton Kincaid. I expect him to lead the team in targets. I expect him to have a very, very similar role to Travis Kelce. I think you're going to start to see him, mold himself more into that type of role now, where he's going to be. It's his second year. You're going to start to see his nuance of his route running start to get better, and him and Josh Allen now, on and off the field have a very good very good relationship. Golfing, learning each other's, where they want to be on the field, things like that. I really expect a huge year out of Dalton Kincaid.
So you're saying he's a super freak. We see in the comments there that who's more prolific artist, Detroit-born Eminem or Buffalo's Rick James? Well, I would say that it's not a Buffalo's Rick James. Rick James actually shares the same hometown, I believe, as Roger Goodell, Jamestown, Nick Sirianni. But it's super freak. That's good. But I think a weird thing about Detroit and the way we play them this year, we are the media darling of yesteryear.
Yeah.
By yesteryear, I mean, maybe 3 years ago. And Detroit has completely taken over that title.
Well,
now.
and that's because of Dan Campbell with him biting at knees and stuff like that. Man, geez.
For whatever it is, we know that if Detroit puts this together for as long as the Bills has, that sheen's going to wear off too, boys. They're going to
yeah.
I mean, Pat, how quickly have you seen within the last year and a half the upwards hate of the Bills kind of upticked, and you've seen the darling persona go to Detroit now? It's a cyclical thing.
It seemed like after we lost to Cincinnati, it's kind of like, okay, either win a Super Bowl or just rebuild. Like, we're tired of hearing, like you guys are a middleman. Like,
Yeah, I
move
gotta turn
on.
the light
Like,
off for that. Get your light on. Let's go. We're outside.
so yeah,
there it is.
no, right
There
now
it is.
Detroit is definitely the media darlings.
Yeah, and it comes
For how
down
long?
to it.
Maybe
Yeah.
another year and a half.
As Neffy just said, Dan Campbell. If we could highlight that comment, Neffy saying Dan Campbell hard to hate. As an ex-player, he is, and he does the right. He does it the right way. The only thing scarier than Dan, Campbell's imposing presence is hearing his coffee order. With all his espressos. I recently lost my father, rest in peace, father student, and hearing his coffee order, it was a decaf coffee with 2 espressos. Matt was at the services, and my mind immediately, for some reason, I should be mourning my father, but I'm just thinking about Dan Campbell just loading his double
with espresso.
With espresso. But yeah, Nuffy saying that Dan Campbell hard to hate. I agree, but that week I will be.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
What do we got? Week 12, Pat.
Week 12. We eventually had to play a Thursday night game, right? Week 12, home against the Titans. It seems like the last 4 or 5 times we have played Tennessee, it's been primetime. What's one more? Will Levis versus Josh Allen. Thursday night football.
Why?
I don't know. I was just like, we need a Thursday night.
Say it again.
Why?
I know.
I mean, I'm dumbfounded by it. Like, not that you're picking them to be a primetime game, but like, I just don't understand why. I get it. They have Will Levis, they got DeAndre Hopkins, they got Treylon Burks, they got but they lost Derrick Henry. They
lost Vrabel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, if you want to talk about the same echelon of coach in terms of player pedigree and stuff like that, there's so much synergy between Campbell and Vrabel. It's interesting. But say it again one more time.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Eventually, we need to play a Thursday night game.
Yeah.
And
why? Give it to me. Give me the next one, baby.
All right.
13.
Another primetime game. We're home against the Niners on Monday Night Football.
And that game is actually sponsored by Sons of Erie. I don't know if you can see it. Sons of Erie. Down on the
turf. And that one you have as a home is a home primetime game, right, Pat?
Yes, Monday Night Football.
Appreciate you, Jason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
how's that
49,
not a primetime game?
That's going to be a fun one to do do the post game show from.
Hell yeah.
That's really going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to have a little swing juice in it. I like that.
Yeah.
So got to keep our wits together, especially at the game and and post game, because I expect a W there. I need a W there. As we get later on in these seasons, these games matter more. They inherently do. They all should matter the same, but we all know how the Bills play. We could put ourselves in a pretty undesirable pinch. But that one matters for sure.
Yeah.
I have it on my board as something that's going to matter if it ends up getting scheduled that way.
Yep. That's the game I want to go to when I come down to Buffalo.
Hell yeah! What goes into a road trip for you?
Well, depends if I want to. I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm a big fan of driving. I'm a big fan of long drives. So
yeah, are you gonna go through Canada or are you gonna go around?
I'll probably go around. Probably go through Illinois, then back up through Ohio.
And I'm gonna go around this conversation to what do you have next for us?
Next, well, you did say we need to start racking up wins later in the season. We're in Miami.
All right, I like the cooler temperatures.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We're in Miami later in the year. Daddy goes back to Miami.
So it's one of those things. If we're in Miami early, let me get your nose real quick. It's just bothering me. It's icicles. When we're in, it is cold here. By the way, it is not warm.
No, it is definitely coat weather right now outside.
I got my soft puffer on. He's got on a bomber. But this is the weather we accelerate in. Just good football weather. I don't subscribe to people that say Miami can't play in the cold. Do they? What? Come on. Why? Tell me.
Just look at all their games.
Why? I'm not saying you're wrong, but
no, I know all the games they have played in the last 3 years. They typically lose and do not show up. Look at the game in Buffalo when it started getting cold and the snow started coming down. What was that? The 2022 season?
Yeah, when they had the Reds on. When they had the Reds on.
It's not a
the Reds on.
I just feel like half of Miami's roster probably from the SEC. Half of our roster probably from the SEC. Do you think their blood changes when they go from college to pro?
No, but I'm sure with Buffalo, playing here, you get accustomed to it. And look, Miami against KC in the playoffs, Kansas City could not move the ball at all in that game.
Sure. Now, would you consider Kansas City a cold weather city?
Yeah.
I know.
I would. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
It's not a tundra.
No, it's not a tundra, but that game was. I think
that game was freezing.
Reports of over 1,000 people, thousands of people had frostbite.
I think it was 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
Then another week 15. Another, team from the state of Florida coming to Buffalo, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or we should say the
Get that.
The Baby Bills, as some people would say. The Bills minor league team. They have Gabriel Davis, Mitch Morse. Who else do they have? Saran Neal?
Super psyched to be there.
Yeah, the receivers coach.
Hey, Mitch Morse, I'll be touching the ball on every offensive play. Good to see you. Good to be seen. Okay, Pat.
Yep, good to be seen.
Good to be seen.
What do you got for Week 16 for us, Pat?
Yeah, Week 16, we're at MetLife. Unfortunately, we have to go there. Out of void.
So are we sitting down every single player that has a bad knees or bad Achilles, like Von Miller? Or
well, seriously, it's got to be talked about. I think Neffy said it before, where soft tissue goes to die. Let's have that discussion because it should be brief.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
It is. And I get why these players, they want to have high end
anything to protect the assets.
Yeah.
Their body.
Yeah. I mean, look what happened, 2 years ago when Von Miller tore his ACL. Look at Trey White 3 years ago tore his ACL and then tore the Achilles last year. I mean, it just comes down to it. It just the turf is I don't know. Like
speak on your playing experience on turf.
I played in one game on turf. It felt like concrete. It was the worst experience I've ever had playing football. And it like you felt slower. You felt like every time you made a cut,
more dug in.
Yeah, every time you made a cut, you feel like something's gonna pop. And anytime you make a tackle, it is literally one of the most unpleasant feelings when you hit that turf.
And sometimes you don't realize the bang that you put on your body until after your body slows down. I know when I played in high school, it was turf. When I played in college, turf. I do know, in the grass fields I played on, I remember going down to Coastal Carolina playing against Josh Norman, Tyler Thigpen. Down there, that's Kentucky bluegrass, and I swear to God, they cut that field with scissors. It was so manicured. It's money. It's money, and it's money's out of owners' pockets to maintain a natural surface that's so susceptible to weather elements, to wear and tear. But I think the wear and tear aspect of it has plagued MetLife Stadium. Just from the 1,000-foot broadcast view, we touched on it earlier before. Man, the field looks black. That's when the rototiller just trying to bring some life into that play safe rubber pellets.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still picking those things out of my toes, and I haven't played football in 12 years. You know.
So what do we got? What do we got next, Pat? Week 16, 17?
Let's fly.
Yeah. Week 17, but very quick, we have a question from Uncle Jay's podcast. Who will lead the Bills in sacks this upcoming season?
Von Miller.
You think Von Miller? Okay, what about you, student?
Let me think. I got one.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt Milano.
See, I was thinking between. So
I want to see a strong dog blitz where we don't know who's rocking where. That's what I want to see. Matt Milano. That means he is back to full form, and that's pretty indicative of where we are in the defense. If you have to fear outside linebacker, in complement to our defensive line.
Me? I'm
Yeah.
going to go with Von Miller as well.
I mean, I have Von Miller getting over 10.5 sacks. I have him about 13.
Me too.
Okay.
I've met like
That's how many
11 and a
snaps
half,
I
bro.
have him playing per game. 13. So, all right, Pat. Let's wrap this up. What do you got?
All right, yeah, week 17. We will be at home against the Chiefs for Sunday Night Football.
That late?
Kansas City, yes, that late. Kansas City comes back to Buffalo. A rematch of the AFC divisional round and all the other matches previous years. Josh Allen versus Mahomes is prime time.
Gotta be. I think that's a lock. Not for the time it is. I think to be respectful to everybody, that's got to be way sooner. But they wouldn't put just my optic. They're not
Yeah.
going to do too much of a repeat for what we're bound to see in the playoffs.
Right.
So-
I agree with that as well. So what do we got week 18? And then we're going to fly through our schedule real quickly, and you can let us know how you like it, how we did, and definitely let us know on Twitter. Definitely give us a like and subscribe.
At two champions.
At Do Champions, definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat. Week 18.
Week 18, Josh Allen's sons come to Buffalo. The Miami Dolphins come to Buffalo.
Okay, that's the only one you had left. It's logical. So now ours.
And that's for its 425 game.
All right, here we go.
All right,
we'll
Pat.
fly through the first. Pat, great insight. Now it's for the
Thank
big
you.
boys.
All right, so we got week 1 Dolphins at Bills. I have that one as a
Do the first three. Do the first three.
as a Sunday night football game. I have week 2 Baltimore Monday Night Football, and then I have the Patriots 1:00 game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're kind of the same thing. We're gonna knock out some divisional opponents right easy.
Yeah.
No need to expand upon kind of further because Pat, you did such a good job.
Thank you.
This is student me being student in Matt's list. I do think we're both on to something. We definitely do see a pattern, and you're gonna like it when you hear 4, 5, and 6 from us because we're a little similar.
Okay.
A little similar.
So we got the Jets week 4, week 5 LA, the Rams, and week 6 the Cardinals come to Buffalo.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah,
Pretty similar.
I like that it's not too travel intensive. We're stacking. Right now we have home, away, home, away, or away, home. That's pretty favorable for just in terms of just not getting too lagged because our West Coast opponents they're 5-hour flights and as we saw, London is a 5-hour flight. Kind of the same thing.
Real quick, thank God there's no more international games for the Bills this year.
Thank God.
That game last year against Jacksonville,
Unfair.
It's super we lose
Procedurally unfair.
Daquan Jones, we lose Matt Milano, both in the same. Luckily,
On grass.
no, that was on
Competitive
turf.
disadvantage.
They put it over top of the turf or over top of the grass.
Because why? Because
Because-
they couldn't ruin a EPL pitch.
Correct.
Shows you about maintenance.
And
Very
speaking of, yeah, go ahead.
The international game cost us. I think that derailed our season last year. I'll stand on it. I've been saying it since last year.
And speaking
With no bye week.
of international and the Jacksonville Jaguars, week 7, I have them as a Thursday night football game
Just
against the
moved to
Bills.
London already.
Thursday night
They're in
football
London
game
again
week,
this year.
week 7 Thursday night football against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 4:25 game week 8 against the Seahawks, and then we have the bye in week 9.
So we share the bye with Pat.
yes,
We think
correct.
week 9.
Yeah,
Week 9 seems
okay.
like a comfy place to give our players a little bit of a rest and a little bit of a. I thought our bye last year. What did you think about our bye last year? A little too early.
A little too late, wasn't it?
Yeah, no,
Because it was
Eagles.
after
And-
the Eagles game at the end of the season.
Oh, what?
was
I
week
thought it was
11 or
week 8
12.
last year.
No, it was
No.
like week 12 or 13 last
Oh,
year.
Yeah, it's
okay. I
over
said
13.
corrected. So this seems like in the comfort pocket.
Yeah.
Week 9. So, and spinning off on our bye, we do go to
Houston for a Monday Night Football game.
Energy Stadium. Beautiful, by
Yeah.
the way. Went there once. Very beautiful. Very well done. That's turf done right.
Yeah.
Or it was a grass, so they move it out. I don't remember.
No,
wherever the playing surface was, it was just looked comfortable. We looked fast. Cody Ford looked very comfortable, derailing our field goal chances. So
Week 11 is the Colts at a 1:00 game here in Indianapolis. Week 12, I have the Bills and Chiefs as a Sunday Night Football game.
yep. So you agree it's prime time,
I do.
Yeah.
Pat? You
I
agree
agree.
it's prime time? We
Yeah,
have it
yeah,
a
it's
little bit
prime time.
earlier. We have it about
Oh, yeah.
5 weeks earlier, but yeah.
Yeah,
And then
fuck
going
yeah.
back in the 3 block.
Yep. Week 13, we got the Bills Patriots. Patriots coming to town here, 1:00 game. Week 14, I actually have as the Thanksgiving game for the Bills against the Lions.
Well, you know the Lions are playing. The Lions are playing every year. The
Yeah,
Cowboys
the Lions are
every
playing
year.
on Thanksgiving.
The Commanders playing every year.
Yep.
So you think us being the darling of yesteryear versus darling of today?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm bagging.
Thanksgiving,
I
and
hope
then
it is Thanksgiving.
then week 15, we have San Francisco, and again we touched on this a little earlier. I have it as a Sunday night game, Sunday night football against the 49ers.
Is Brock Purdy in the conversation with Josh?
No, not even close.
No.
Well, they're going to
Hell
try
no.
it. They're going to try it through the court of public opinion with that.
Good luck.
Yeah, they're
Good
gonna
luck.
try.
Hey, man, he's been to the big game.
Yeah, he has, but
Yeah.
I lay that more at the feet of their defense than anything else. But
Or their offensive weapons, of which they've accrued. So,
which I hope Joe Brady does this.
excuse me.
Joe Brady does this year and gets the ball out of Josh's hands. I mean, we'll touch on that stuff in weeks ahead when we get to that stuff. So definitely watch out for the upcoming shows that we have planned.
Sponsored by Diegert Palace.
As always.
Title sponsor of the show, and title of hopefully a lot of good things to come in terms of the moving forward with this network. But in order for us to be relevant as a network, we need relevant things to talk about, and I think the way of which our schedule leads this year, it certainly is going to give us a lot of talking points, and certainly going to be a lot of contentious opinions, not only from the three of us on the Buffalo Basement podcast, but also some of the other podcasts on the network.
Coast to coast. We have Buffalo Bills homework hotline.
We have the homework hotline. We have a place at the table, and we do have the Neffy cast coming up. So
Awesome. And then week 16, Bills Jets. Week 17, Bills Titans, and then week 18, finishing off against the Dolphins.
So finishing off as an AFC is I don't think they're not going to plug in an NFC anytime late there.
No, I don't.
No.
I really don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be must-watch football. It's gonna be must-win football.
The only thing I could see
Yes.
maybe going maybe a little bit later might be week 16, one spot is the San Francisco game, maybe, but I could see that moving more up in the beginning of the season, but that's just myself. But I have it at week 15 for that. Week 18 being the Dolphins. Again, going to Miami, finishing the season in Miami, and we'll definitely see how that goes. How the schedule looks. Wednesday at 8 p.m. Is what Adam Schefter reported. So we're definitely excited to see that.
We'll see the leak at 1 p.m.
Throughout the day. And definitely join us for Coast to Coast on Wednesday night at 9 p.m.
Yes.
That's going to be a good show for them, and
it's going to be great because we got a West Coast guy and
an East Coast guy.
Beyond being from the LBC, and Whittle being from Newark. Pat, if I could give you a minute to plug what I really believe you're adding value to this community in Pat's Red and Blueprint. I saw you got a little traction this week. I thought it was absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Why don't you take 30 seconds and tell us what it's about and why your ears why your ears should be in tune to what you're putting down in terms of what you see as a plan going forward.
Yeah, no, past Red and Blueprints here only on the Do Champions Media Network. It's basically going to be just me running basically a mini podcast on my opinions on the Buffalo Bills, breaking news around the NFL, and breaking down some games once we get into the season. And maybe we have on a few guests.
Topical consumption. And there's not a kinder, nicer, and I think more well-informed young guy coming up in the game than Mr. Pat Bruknis.
Pat _ Bruknis.
Understood.
But, definitely check out the Red and Blueprint. I mean, I know you said you want to do two long videos a week, and then clip those up. So definitely check those out on the YouTube Shorts and on TikTok as well. So definitely check those out with Pat there at Pat _ Bruknis at Do Champions on YouTube. Definitely give us a like and follow or like and sub on
almost 600 new followers just on the Twitter account alone. And guys, from the bottom of our heart, that means a ton of us stepping out on our own and doing our own little thing here. Pat, who sponsors us and makes this all possible?
Yes, first Ilio DePaulo's. They had Ilio DePaulo's Sons of Erie, Hamburg Brewing, Beauty Pools, and obviously, here only on the Do Champions Media Network.
Hey, Pat.
Good to be seen.
Good to be seen, baby. Matt.
Good to be seen.
Good to be seen, baby. That's a show. Peace. Have a good